Why would anyone do drugs when they could just mow a lawn?
Mother. Mother, I crave violence.
You are here because the outside world rejects you.
Let's do it.
Okay, so this video is going to be kind of an impulse video that I really didn't plan to make, but I had this little guy, if it will focus, a little baby cicada tortoise. The previous owner, surrendered the animal to me. His girlfriend bought it, so he wanted a tortoise. His girlfriend seen it in a pet store, went ahead and bought it. A handful of supplies to go along with the little fella, and gave it to him as a gift. Here, focus on the turtle, not me, tortoise. Yeah, the camera wants to focus up here. So, anyways, he realized that the tortoise here is the third largest tortoise species there is. The Aldabra and Galap are up there as bigger ones, I believe. And he knew that was going to be too much for him, so he turned it over to me. I had a fish tank that he was interested in, so it was kind of a barter. But yeah, otherwise I would not have. I would not have purchased this because, again, how large they get, and I don't really have that, the ability to dedicate that much space to one of these guys. It's more so the winter time that's the issue. But anyway, so we're going to, because he didn't have a real cage for it, so I'm going to build a tortoise table from the scrap wood that I have, and then put this guy up. Eventually he will be available. We'll look for a better forever home for him, and but I'm gonna hold on to him for a short bit, just to make certain that he's healthy. He's actually looking like he's doing better now. I made certain to I put him in a shallow water dish to make certain that he was hydrated. One of the things I did notice was that for like the first 48 hours, he didn't open his eyes up at all. They were always closed, but I know he was moving around because he was never in the same spot. I have him in the baby rack. So we need to get him set up. I just got some of the supplies in today as far as better lighting. But we're not here to critique them. We're going to just work on setting this little fella up in a better situation. And then hopefully in the next month or so we can locate somebody who is interested in having this little guy as their little forever friend. So let's get into the build. Okay, so I've got this little stand that I built. It holds 20 long on bottom, but on top it's bigger than 20 long. So I think I'm going to use this as the base for building this tortoise table, but I want to build it, even though that tortoise is about yay big. That would do alright for a short bit, but I have plenty of, let's go over here, plenty of plywood left from previous projects that I can build it a little bit bigger. Oh, still got plenty of driftwood or cork tubes if you're interested, to make it bigger. Probably not quite that big, but yeah, I wanted to give it more space. That way the tabletop is able to be used for longer with the tortoise. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to figure out what exact materials I have, and then we'll come up with a game plan from there. Okay, so I found this pretty nice piece of board here. It is 33 by 23. That's going to be a pretty good size footprint to house this tortoise for quite a bit. Obviously the thing will outgrow it, and I think I have enough of these. What is this? This is a 2 by 8, so we'll do that for the sides. and maybe even add this little 4 in here. So that way it makes it like 12 inches. So it'll be a while before he's, obviously he will outgrow the table before he's big enough to climb over the top of this. So we'll see how that's going to go. And I'm going to use these thinner boards that I have. Like down here, these 1x2s. We'll use that to hold the lighting over the top of the table. But we'll get with that. Show you that when we get to that section. Okay, so now this is just me simply cutting the boards down to the right length. This is actually a 1x8. So it's actually, just a little bit shorter than 8 inches tall. And I went ahead and just went with that. By the time I figured out the floor space that this was going to have, the tortoise is going to outgrow the floor space before he outgrows the height of this. So I just stuck with this single board. Went ahead and glued it because that is, in my opinion, the best bond to get. But I didn't have patience to fully wait for the glue to cure for 24 hours. So I will put a couple screws in here just to help hold it together while the glue dries. But that is my preferred method when I build projects like this, and especially when I'm kind of under the gun as far as time. I needed to really get something going, so that's what we did. So now that I have all 4 sides glued together, now we're going to put the base on. So I flipped it upside down, run a bead of glue all along the edge, and then we will put the board was cut to fit, obviously, and smooth it out, make sure everything's good to go. And then I'm just going to put a handful of screws around the perimeter, again, to help hold this board into place while the glue dries. I especially like to use glue on this part because it helps seal the 2 boards together, which will also aid in making certain that, now it's not watertight completely. Like I wouldn't fill this up, I wouldn't make this for an aquatic turtle, but if they go to the bathroom in the corner, it's not going to seep out near as bad. Kind of helps with that. But we're also going to seal the inside of this tank, or this enclosure, with some waterproofing to help protect it from spilt water and things like that. So okay, so I lost some footage on the completion of, or at least a midsection of the build of this video. So this is another project, an up and coming project I'm going to show you a little bit later. But anyways, the method is the same. I like to use this dry lock. It's for basements and masonry stuff, and it's a waterproofer. And so I like to use this on my enclosures that I make out of wood because it helps seal that wood and protect it against humidity. It protects against moisture all the way around. I even use this, if you go back on the channel to those chameleon cages I built, I painted the entire inside of those chameleon cages with this product here, dry lock. And this also can be colored if you wanted to, but I simply just paint over it if I wanted a different color other than white. But anyways, back to the chameleon cage. I used this in the chameleon cage, and I had a faulty misting incident, and the cage held an inch of water for a good solid day, never leaked a drop outside of it. So the stuff works. I'm convinced it's a good product, so I'm sharing it with you guys that it works for this kind of application. Okay, so the lighting I was going to use was this old Zilla light fixture that I have. It's been on other tanks before, but it is 36 inches long. It holds 2 T5 HOs or HOT5s bulbs, and that's what I was going to put on the tortoise tank. in my rush to order lights, I ordered 24-inch bulbs instead of, well, technically it's 22, instead of the 36 needed for this. So for the video, I won't have them. I do have, I'll show you the final setup here in a moment. It's not ideal, but it will work for now until I get those in the mail or shipped to me. But, and the other thing that I was going to put on there, but we don't really need it right now, is this here, a double dome fixture. This just happens to have the lights that I don't necessarily agree with. Those coil UVBs that they sell. It's what I could get now as a temporary thing, again, until the right bulbs come in. So just stay on the lookout for a future video. You'll see it. You're just gonna see what it looks like now. The other thing, what I really want from this is to use one of these. I'm going to put 2 in here, I think, but right now we don't need it. It is now summer, well, it's still springtime. The weather outside is like summertime. We're easily getting to the mid to upper 80s and a little bit 90s. You can see it's morning time right now, and we're already about 82 in the reptile room. So I don't really need to put that much extra heat on here. He seems to be doing just fine, eating fine and all that, moving around. So I'm going to show you the setup. Keep in mind, it's not 100% where it needs to be, but it is looking pretty good. And I figured I'd show you instead of waiting any longer for this video to be put out there. So let me take you off the tripod and we'll take a look at the little guy. Okay, so here is just the setup, how I have it. I have these dome lights on here. Again, not the way I want it to be, but it's the way it will be for right now. Simple water dish that he or she can climb in and out of. We got food. I'm using a ZooMed tortoise food diet for grassland tortoises. It's the gourmet, so it has a little bit of carrot and apple in there. I don't usually put too much of that in there. And he's going in for a drink. I keep the water shallow, so that way he doesn't drown. I'm not certain how well they swim, and I don't really want to find out. Got a hide just for him to go up underneath there, which he does use from time to time. Put the fake plants in there. That's just more for the aesthetic appeal as far as me looking in, but it does create another little micro hiding spot that he could use. And this cork tube doesn't necessarily need to be in there, but I just feel like it gives him something to feel like he's like, it's that there's not another tortoise in here, but like, you know, it kind of gives them a visual break to like go explore like what's all around it, whatnot. That makes any sense? Probably not, but I like the looks of it. I don't know if it's really all that functional, but as you can see, he or she moves around quite well. So this he can go the long way around to get out. And that's why I don't put much water in there, in case he were to flip. He's not going to you gonna try to climb up onto that branch? Yeah, no, good idea. That's not the way out. But yeah, as you can tell, the tortoise has lots of room for now, and again, it won't, by the time it outgrows the floor space, you know, it shouldn't be able to climb the wall, so we'll have it moved on out. But you gonna get out of there? Yeah, you can get out of there, can't you? Let's get this shot. There you go, buddy. Can you do it? You're kind of going at a wrong angle. Let's see what you do. No, yeah, see, you're going the wrong way. You can do it. You can do it. Okay, so that again is the overview of how I have the setup. The substrate is a mixture of stuff. I like to use the Eco Earth, and then I've mixed a few other ingredients into that. And I used the Zoomed Reptibark, which works, but for aesthetically appealing, in my opinion, the forest floor would look better than the larger, chunkier stuff that I have on top. And I just kind of dress that because you know, this stuff will stick to them if it gets wet. I mean, it will, but so I like to use the chips just kind of as a top thing, so he doesn't get too covered in the finer stuff, but yet it holds humidity pretty good. So that's what we want. Create a humid side. I tend to like to use that side. I don't know, it just seems like that should be the right spot. Are you gonna get out now? You gonna make it? Nope, nope, nope. You're coming at the wrong angle, dude. You're coming at it the wrong angle. But anyways, let's I've captured some other candid moments of this guy, so I'm just gonna cut to that footage, and I just wanted to say thank you all for watching. Oh, I just turned that off as he slid down it, but there you can see he made it out just fine. I don't know how much that I caught, because just as I hit the button, he slid down. So hopefully we caught that. You will know because you have just seen it. But yeah, let's go. Let me show you some other little candid moments that I captured of this little guy as he explores his environment.
Shut up and sit down.